For waiting. I think it's worth the wait. So this is a city called Chandigarh, and what you're seeing right now is live data feeding into the dashboard. I've logged in as if I was the operator of the city. It's a real deployment, it's not even a demo. That's why I will not be switching off any lights today. But I will show you what we have implemented on the ground, on the street level. So I've put down the menu. You can see the different type of sensors technologies that are developed in the deployed in the different use cases. We have environment sensors, we have street lights, we have actually connected real-time buses that are moving. We have connected waste management, water management. And you can see that if I select them, I will be getting information. So this is the environment information right now. It's very extensive. We can measure humidity, we can see the temperature, the humidity, the CO2, the AQI, and all of that is very useful, obviously, if you can feed that information back to citizens and back to the city itself, especially within the environment department. The other thing that is interesting to see is the lights. You can see those lights here. It's not a lot that we have here. In Jaipur, we have about 3,000 lights already on the street. But you can see the bunch of lights here, and I can select, I'm not changing, but I can change the state, and I can switch it on and off. I can make it dim from 0 to 50% and so forth. I can also do policy and events. What that stands for is I'm going to be able to tell the light, the example I told you earlier. I can select this one particular light, and I can tell that light, you go 100% on when there is a car that comes and parks. If the car leaves, go down to 50%. I can configure that in the policy. Wow. And this is where the additional energy savings I was talking about really kick in for a city. We have a bunch of different lights connected here with different protocols. Some of them are based on Wi-Fi technology, some of them are based on 6LoWPAN or RF mesh for the technical people in the room. And what happens in this view, though, is I am agnostic to the communication protocol. I'm making sure that all of the lights, I can see them and I can manage them. Because in the way these projects are rolling, unfortunately, are not like one thing. Only very few cities in the world, only very few cities in the world can do a full-blown rollout, especially lighting or parking, because these are the most tangible use cases. And so, we will have batches of rollouts. So we will have 5,000 lights, 10,000 lights, another 10,000 lights. So any larger city in the world has somewhere between 20, 30, 40, 110,000 lights. Singapore has 110,000 lights. Davao, I know by accident, has, we did a study for Davao actually. So people from Davao can come and see me on. So we did a study for 25,000 lights there, what it would be the extra savings and so forth. So anyway, when they connect those lights, the problem becomes that they will do it in batches. A lot of cities implement these projects in phases. And it might end up, because of tender processes, procurement, might end up that they connect to different protocols. And then what? They'll have standalone lighting management infrastructure. It's not going to work. So you need technology like this where it aggregates and normalizes the data. The other interesting use cases here are the bins. So I've just selected the bins. You can see the green I can select it. You can see it's only 30% filled. I select the red. It's, well, 46.5. Oh, sorry, I have to clear my selection. Otherwise, it takes the average. This one is 80% filled. So what that means is that this information goes back to the waste management and department, and they have to see if they can optimize the routes of the trucks to collect the ones that are full first. The other interesting thing here is water. Actually, it is very specific for India. These are wells. They're monitoring how often they're used. The red ones are used. The red ones are used many times a day. These are not used at all. Sorry. So that means they're underutilized. And the other ones are used. This one, for example, one time a day. One other thing that was interesting here were this is real-time monitoring of the buses, and you can, if we wait long enough, you see them moving. So the red ones have stopped. This is real-time locating those buses on the streets. Okay. Okay, so I'll move back to my presentation. I have 10 minutes. How long do I have? 10. I might need to skip some of the slides further. So what I also wanted to share with you is a few more deployments, but I will go quicker over them. So I'm going to Europe now. This is Prague in Czech Republic. I just wanted to show you a snapshot of the deployment there because it is very rich also in terms of data. Besides the standard things around lighting and environment and parking, they're looking at cycling counters. So this, you can see the real-time cycling, how often they are utilized. And they have some USB charging stations that they also have connected real-time to the platform. Moving on to the States, this is also one of our iconic projects in Las Vegas. It's mostly centered around traffic. Some other use cases like environment and so forth, but the major trigger for this project was the intersections in Vegas, and you've seen the video real quick. It turns out that because of the very large traffic of people on the streets, a lot of congestion is happening on the intersections. People actually lining up to cross the street, pushing the front road. People actually jump on the road because they've been pushing from the back, and a lot of accidents has happened to them. So they wanted to deploy technologies that monitors better the intersections and manages better the traffic lights in the events of such a congestion that happens. So this is a snapshot. It's similar to what I just showed you. Here you can see the urban mobility is what we call monitoring and counting vehicles, counting people on the street, and the red dots are the environment sensors. And also we are getting real-time alerts for the congestion areas there. Now let me roll this video, it's only 1 minute, so that you get an impression of.
Today's a great day to be in Las Vegas. We have a lot of great partners here demonstrating what a smart city is, how Cisco is our partner in that journey, and how really it's redefining and reshaping the city of Las Vegas today and for the future. Really the beauty of what we're doing here is we've used the Cisco Kinetic for Cities platform. It's really a view into our city in real time, giving us air quality, public safety data, environmental statistics. It's really the foundation for everything, sort of the nerve center of all the sensor data that's coming into the city.
We're able to use technology and apply it today for citizens in Las Vegas. We are able to show how edge analytics can really transform and take data from vehicles, allow it to improve traffic operations, provide better traffic information to citizens, and improve safety. And these are all really important elements to make the city of Las Vegas more livable, more connected.
One of the great things we're doing in Las Vegas right now is we're using our Cisco platform to analyze intersections, to understand how people use the intersection, how vehicles use the intersection. And then with that data, we're taking it and learning how to make the intersection safer, how to maximize the benefits of having this technology. So now we're able to count the number of cars, the number of vehicles, and now we're able to use that to help economic growth. Maybe there's a plot of land that doesn't have any development yet because developers don't know how many people drive by or walk by. So now we have that actionable data that we can use to help leverage that property, sell that property, bring investment into the city of Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah, so moving on, back to Europe, this is in Spain. The only thing I will mention here is it's innovative in terms not only the technology but the business model that is disrupting the way cities manage infrastructure and consume it. So this is a project we've done with a waste management operator in Spain, in the city of Granada. They are using the technology that I was demonstrating earlier, how to optimize the collection, how to save fuel, how to save on trucks that are riding on the street. What's interesting though is by them deploying this technology with the platform and the sensors is that they are now in a position, because of the infrastructure they put in place, to develop many more services on top of that to offer back to the city. Currently they are the waste collector. But what stops them of providing services around parking? Or because they know how to build the cities, they know how to put the whole operations around it. So for them, it was thinking how they can reinvent themselves using this technology. not just to optimize their cost, which they are doing through this, right? Because they have less, as I said, less fuel, less trucks, faster collection and so forth. But they can actually now think how their business model can evolve, and they become something we call urban service providers, which is a new wave that is needed for this whole IoT to be successful in the city space. This is just a snapshot of their platform. I have a video which I'm not going to roll. You can find it on internet. And it's in Spanish. I'm just going to skip it. You can find it. It's in my presentation. Because I only have a few minutes left, and I really want to touch upon a couple of more points. One is we have done studies in cities to help them get on the journey, which looks at what they can save or what additional revenues they can generate. As I said, some of the major topics are, and the major verticals and use cases that cities start with is around parking and lighting, because the energy savings and the additional revenues that are lost in parking. Waste management is also one of the third ones that is coming. Okay, the business models, I'm going to touch real quick, because this is the way it will be in the future. Cities will not be able to deploy these technologies by themselves. So there's a lot of models coming as the one in Spain, where city infrastructure is offered as a service. And those urban service providers are not necessarily the traditional telecoms, although we're talking about telecommunications and digital. These are companies like waste collectors, parking managers, but also the utility companies. So we are currently doing a project in Manila with Meralco, and we are about to go live in a couple of weeks during their annual event. So you can reach out to the Cisco people, and we can help you see it. We actually are deploying on their compound this technology. And what they're thinking about is how they can use this as their transformation and offer additional services, because they basically can get customers all across the country as well, right? So besides electricity, can they offer lighting as a service, parking as a service, and even video analytics and video surveillance as a service. Okay, so Smart City is a journey, not a destination, and we have to organize a complicated ecosystem and stakeholders between the private and the public sector. This is the message here. I just want to touch upon that. A lot of you here are not from government, and you wonder, what does it mean for me, right, when we talk about this? But the crossover from what the cities is probably the most mature in terms of how many verticals you can, use cases you can touch. A lot of those things are replicable in manufacturing, in airports, in seaports, in warehouses, and so forth. How do you deploy the IoT technology and normalize that data and harness that data and the reporting that comes through it, right? So feel free to reach out. I'm going to end up here. We are in a dominant digital industrial era. It impacts all of the different industries. May it be how do you do predictive maintenance of your machines in the factory, may it be obviously how you modernize the grid and utilities, or may it be how you optimize the traffic on the road. All of this is applicable for every one of us that is here today. Thank you very much, and I hope to see some of you again. Thank you.